Chapter 26. Cleaning Lady Meets Boiler. Dan quickly puts the column shift into drive and takes the fire truck slowly out of the sidewalk. Soon, he is driving the fire truck off the sidewalk and has hit the road. The truck stops and then starts again. It continues until it happens for the third time as he restarts the truck, and the truck stops again. Dan seems frustrated, but he tries for once more, and this time, the truck starts for good and finally drives away and out of the area. There's a young man standing on the sidewalk right behind the truck, holding a cell phone in his right hand. Apparently, the young man is filming the fire engine on his phone. "Well, there goes those motherfuckers, stealing that truck like sick fucking animals." A static voice comes out of a video that is being played on a cell phone. A cook is watching that video with his keen eyes glued to his phone, and a set of wireless headphones is stuck inside his ears. He is standing inside the kitchen, with his back leaned against the kitchen counter. The static voice from the video now says, "I hope the cops taste them," or sexually assaults them. As the cook is watching the video, his face holds a blank expression. Anne is washing the dishes just a couple of feet away from him, wearing an apron. He's almost done washing the dishes when he looks up, and his hand comes to a sudden halt at what he hears. There's another cook lying on the counter right behind the sink where Anne is standing with his back turned to him. The other cook sympathetically says, "Man, what a bitch. I can't believe she tells you she slept with some abusive pedophile old man and left you on your birthday." Anne shrugs his shoulders and says, "Yeah, this is what happens when you trust women. They'll make a fool out of you." The other cook nods his head firmly. "Damn straight." Anne is finally done washing the dishes. He dries his hands with a towel before turning towards the cook and says, "There, all done. Can I go now?" The cook looks first at Anne and then at the pile of clean dishes. He looks up at Anne again and says, "Yeah, you can go now. I'll tell my supervisor I let you go." Anne gives a subtle smile and says, "Thanks." He starts taking his first step, but he halts in his tracks and turns around. He looks up at the other cook and asks, "Hey, you got an extra smoke I can borrow?" The other cook shrugs his shoulders lightly and says, "Ran out." Anne goes quiet for a moment before saying, "See you?" With that being said, Anne starts walking out of the cook's sight. As Anne reaches the kitchen door, the other cook suddenly says, "Sorry, man." "Hey, don't let those fans rally you up." Anne looks up at the other cook, blinks his eyes once and says, "I won't." Once he is finally out of the kitchen, he quickly makes his way towards the main entrance of the Sheepdog restaurant. Anne stands at the foot of the stairway and exhales a deep sigh. He looks up at the sky and breathes in before looking around himself. He was amused by how bright and cheerful the aura feels like, and he whispers to himself, "I hope the city looks as good as this place." Anne steps down the staircase and leaves the premises of the Sheepdog restaurant to wander on the streets till he finally finds what he's looking for. Inside Dam's vehicle, a soft hand is fixing the rearview mirror. Suddenly, smoke lines start appearing in the mirror, blurring the reflection. The cleaning lady takes a long drag of the cigarette while she's listening to the radio. A static voice comes out of the radio as the reporter reads the news. The remaining riots are now on the left side of the city, but reports are saying, since the cleaning lady is not really interested in knowing about the riots going on in the city, she quickly changes the radio station. A song starts playing, called "Make It Last" by Montrose. The cleaning lady puffs out the smoke that she had inhaled a moment back. Anne is walking on the sidewalk aimlessly. As he looks ahead, he notices Dam's vehicle parked by the curb of the sidewalk near his left side. The cleaning lady turns right, and her gaze lands on the rearview mirror, where she can easily see Anne's figure walking on the sidewalk. As soon as Anne notices the vehicle, he turns around and starts walking back to where he had come from. His steps are seized as he hears the vehicle's honk. The cleaning lady stress at Anne's reflection through the rearview mirror as he turns around and starts walking towards the driver's window. In a few long strides, Anne is standing near the driver's side as the window starts rolling down. He is perplexed by the unexpected appearance of the cleaning lady inside his father's vehicle. The cleaning lady, however, ignores his shocked expressions and asks, "Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to your arm?" Anne looks surprised at the sudden outburst, but soon he regains his composure. Instead of answering her question, he poses a question of his own. "How the hell did you get this vehicle?" The cleaning lady has a deadpan expression as she says, "Your father gave it to me for the night." Then, she pauses for a moment before asking, "Anyway, what the fuck took you so long?" Anne hesitates for a moment before finally saying, The riots?" The cleaning lady arches an eyebrow as she says, "Really? You look good." "Thanks," Anne simply responds. The cleaning lady asks, "How was the restaurant?" Anne looks baffled as he asks, "How do you know about that?" The cleaning lady responded, "Noah texted earlier to remind you about the sheepdog restaurant tonight. I texted her back saying, 'Don't worry, I'll be there, baby.'" Anne joined the pieces of the puzzle together and finally says, "Oh, okay." The cleaning lady speaks up again. "She texted again, not so long ago. She wrote to you to be a good person and not a lying bastard. I chose not to respond to that text." Anne is standing still while looking at the cleaning lady for a moment. The cleaning lady stares at him a couple of seconds before saying, "Hop in." Anne walks around in front of the vehicle and keeps walking till he reaches the other of the vehicle. He opens the passenger door, sits down, and closes the door. He turns around to look at the cleaning lady and asks, "So what's the plan?" The cleaning lady looks back at Anne weirdly before asking, "You didn't come up with another plan?" Anne shrugs his shoulders as he says, "I assumed you must have one." The cleaning lady narrows her eyes and looked at Anne. "I'm not the planning type. This is your fucking score?" "Well, this is your fucking idea," Anne responds. The cleaning lady looks frustrated at his retort as she says, "God, you're useless. No wonder you fucked up." Anne shouts at her loudly, "Fuck you! Fuck you!" The cleaning lady shouts back at Anne, but much louder. The cleaning lady looks at Anne with exasperation before bringing her right hand up. She puts the cigarette butt forward to Anne's upper right cheek and burns him. "Ow!" Anne winces loudly out of pain. Anne quickly brings his left hand forward and swats her hand away from his cheek. He looks at her with rage apparent in his eyes as he says, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch?" The cleaning lady looks at Anne, and without a hint, she punches him on his left eye. "Ow! Cunt!" Anne exclaims in pain. The cleaning lady punches Anne again, this time on the left side of his nose. Anne winces again. "Ow!" Anne touches his nose, and as soon as his fingers come in contact with his skin, he feels something wet coming out. Bringing his fingers in front of his eyes, he realizes that his nose has started to bleed. Anne glares up at the cleaning lady and says, "You fucking hag!" The cleaning lady punches Anne on the face numerous times. She is unstoppable this time, while Anne feels each and every punch in his face. He keeps wincing with every punch as he groans in pain. "Ow! Ow! 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 Ow!" His painful groans don't stop the cleaning lady as she's still punching his nose again and again. Anne finally says, "All right, all right, all right. I'm sorry." The cleaning lady finally stops and looks at Anne's bleeding face. Anne says again, "All right. I'm sorry for what I said. Please forgive me." Anne looks remorseful, with a broken nose and his nose bleeding badly. The cleaning lady looks at him for a while. Then, out of the blue, she punches his face again, only this time, the blow is on the left side of his jaw. Anne winces and says loudly, "Ow!" "What the fuck?" The cleaning lady simply says, "You're welcome." Anne's left hand is now rubbing the left side of his jaw, where he got the last blow. The cleaning lady asks without looking at him, "You got any smokes?" Anne mutters quietly, "Check the trunk." The cleaning lady turns towards him and says, "Wait here, homo." With that, she turns around and opens her side of the door. She gets out of the vehicle and closes the door behind, without sparing a glance at poor Anne, who is rubbing his left jaw lightly in an attempt to soothe the pain. Anne looks at her leaving his sight and mutters to himself, "Fucking bitch! The cleaning lady takes a few steps, finally reaches the trunk of the vehicle. She opens the trunk and stares at Boiler, who is inside, tied up by bar wire. His eyes are closed, and he's shaking his eyes in a strange rhythm, along with the music that he is listening to. She stares at him for a couple of seconds, before she reaches out and pulls the headphones out of his ears from her right hand. As soon as the music stops blaring inside his ears, Boiler opens his eyes. "Hey! What the fuck?" Boiler shouts while looking at the cleaning lady. His face morphs into a confused expression before he asks, "Who the fuck are you?" The cleaning lady curtly says, "Boiler." "So," Boiler drawls. Then suddenly, he starts smiling at the cleaning lady before he says, "You know who I am? If you let me go, I promise that I won't hurt you." The cleaning lady shrugs her shoulders and says, "Okay." Boiler looks at the cleaning lady straight in her eyes. The cleaning lady gets closer to Boiler's face and asks, "Do you have a smoke I can borrow?" Boiler responds, "Sorry, I don't." "Too bad," the cleaning lady says before she leans in towards his face. Without giving Boiler a chance to resist, she kisses him right on his lips. Boiler doesn't respond. In fact, he looks disgusted by her action. So much so that when the cleaning lady finally removes her lips from on top of his, he starts spitting. The cleaning lady gives him a sinister smile before saying, "See you." She quickly closes the trunk's door. "Fuck you! I'll fucking kill you!" Boiler's loud voice starts to get muffled as the trunk's door gets closed. Boiler is in the dark again. He stares into oblivion and mutters to himself in disdain, "God, I kissed a girl." The cleaning lady is back to the front of the vehicle as she gets inside and sits on the driver's side. She closes the door behind her and turns towards Anne. "All right." She looks up at Anne and continues, "There are 2 people guarding the front of the store. I will be distracting them. While I keep them busy and distracted, well, you have to walk in front of the store." "That doesn't make any fucking sense." Anne shakes his head. "Well, you just have to trust me. It'll work," the cleaning lady says in an attempt to make him understand her plan. Anne is still shaking his head as he says, "It won't work." The cleaning lady looks at him and says, "Well, fine. Just get the fuck out of the car and wait for my command." Anne asks her, "What are you going to do?" "I'll get rid of the guards," the cleaning lady responds. Anne asks another question. "How am I going to wait for your command?" The cleaning lady gives a cell phone to Anne. He holds it in his left hand and looks down at the phone. The cleaning lady says, "Wait for my texts and go inside." Anne looks at the cell phone, then back at the cleaning lady before he asks, "What's this?" The cleaning lady simply responds, "It's my phone." Anne looks confused and asks, "Why the fuck did you take mine?" "'Cause I felt like it," the cleaning lady responds. Anne looks at her very aggressively. Then, he looks back at the cell phone in his hand before asking, "What's the password?" The cleaning lady responds curtly, "You don't need to know." Anne simply says, "How am I going to reply then?" The cleaning lady goes quiet for a moment, before sadly responding, 8724537. Anne quickly types in the password, and the lock screen goes straight to the home screen. He gazes at the wallpaper, a picture of 3 women. One of the 3 women is the younger version of the cleaning lady. Her face is marred with a genuine smile, while the other smiling woman looks much younger than her. The 3rd woman is an infant being held by the other woman. Anne holds the phone and stares at the screen for a moment. Then, he looks back at the cleaning lady before he gets out of the vehicle. The cleaning lady is looking down with a depressed expression on her face. The cleaning lady is now sitting inside the driver's side. Anne stares at her, trying to decipher what she's saying by the movement of her lips, while she says, "I'm sorry, please come back to me." After that, Anne starts walking ahead of him. 2 people are standing in front of the Westmen photocopy store. One of the guys looks at the other guy on his left and asks, "So, how are Jamie and Ken?" The guard looks at the other guard and waits for his answer, while the other guard simply responds, "Don't know." "Oh," the guard softly says, before he looks around. The other guard starts talking. "I pray to God for those guys to make sure that they're all right." The guard looks at the other guard again before saying, "Okay?" The guard looks around again. The other guard says again, "It's awful what happened to them." The guard responds, "Yay, yay." Could happen to anyone? The other guard looks at him. Suddenly, Dam's vehicle pulls up and parks near the front of the photocopy store. The passenger window is rolling down. The cleaning lady props her head slightly out of the window and says in a seductive voice, "Hey, hot, sexy men, how are you?" The cleaning lady smiles at the guards, while the guards stare at her with straight faces, without even a hint of a smile. One of the guards says, "Hello? What are you doing here, miss?" The cleaning lady says again, seductively, "I'm just bored. Looking for some stunts to have fun with. What are you two doing?" The guard curtly responds, "We're guarding this place, dumbass." The cleaning lady is still smiling at the guards when the other guard reprimands his partner, saying, "Hey, that's not nice." He looks at his partner, then he looks at the cleaning lady before saying, "Sorry for my partner here. We're just guarding this place because there was a failed attempt of robbery yesterday." The cleaning lady smiles seductively and says in the same tone, "Apology accepted. I can't get mad with you two, big, strong men." The first guard harshly asks again, "What the hell do you want?" The cleaning lady seductively says, "I need some meat inside me. How about you two hop in my car and show a girl a really good wet time?" The cleaning lady winks at the guard. However, his expressions don't quite appear as she had expected, as he looks disgusted. With the same expression, he says, "Ugh, you're too damned old." The cleaning lady stops smiling, and the guard continues, "And ugly, too." Before he can finish his remark, the other guard says, "Hey, that's not very nice, man." The guard looks at his partner and says, "What? I see what she's doing. She's trying to lure us inside her car, so someone can go inside the store and finish off the robbery." The other guard defensively says, "You don't know that." The guard says with distaste, "Look at her! Old ass bitch." The cleaning lady looks offended as she spats, "You know what? Fuck you guys." "I'm so sorry, miss." The other guard starts apologizing, but his aggressive partner cuts him off and says, "Yeah, fuck off, hag." The cleaning lady shouts, "Fuck you!" The guard shouts louder, "Fuck you!" The other guard looks between the both of them and loudly says, "Both of you, calm down." Someone shouts from inside the door, "What's all this, commotion?" The two guards look inside the store, and the first one responds, "Nothing, just a trespasser." Someone is slowly coming out of the store. An attractive middle-aged man looks at the two guards once he's outside and asks, "What trespasser?" The third guard looks at the cleaning lady and mutters, "Oh my God." The cleaning lady smiles at the third guard, and he smiles back at her before greeting her. "Well, hello there." "Hi," the cleaning lady greets him back seductively. The third guard asks, "What is a lady like you doing here?" The third guard is now walking between the two guards. He takes slow, measured steps towards the vehicle, and the cleaning lady says in the same seductive tone, "I'm just a girl looking for a good time." The third guard looks at her mischievously before asking, "Is that so?" He is now coming closer to the passenger window, and she says, "Sure is." The third guard is now giggling as he stops and looks at the cleaning lady through the passenger side window. The cleaning lady says, "I can tell that you like me." "Yes, no." The third guard appears nervous as he says, "I mean, yes. No. What I mean is, you're an interesting girl to me, a really nice girl, but you have to leave, and I'm so very sorry." The cleaning lady looks at the third guard for a moment. Then she says, "Give me your hand." The third guard looks nervous and asks, "Why?" She reassures him, seductively, "You'll see." The other guard calls him out from behind. "Sir?" "Shut up!" the third guard shouts at the intruder. The third guard turns his head to the right, then gazes back at the cleaning lady. He brings his right hand forward, in front of her, and the cleaning lady grabs his hand. She looks at him, a mere glimpse, before she puts his index finger inside her mouth and starts sucking on it. As soon as her tongue touches his skin, his nerves shoot up, leaving his mouth agape. The cleaning lady continues to suck on his finger, and his entire body starts shaking. His legs feel like jello, making it difficult for him to stand still. And the other guards look at each other, their faces marred with confusion, as the first guard whispers, "What is she doing?" The other guard whispers back, "I don't know." Sweat drops start appearing on the third guard's forehead, and he's panting hard, while the cleaning lady is moaning. The cleaning lady stops and slowly removes the finger from her mouth as she licks the tip of the finger, with her tongues rolled out. She looks at the third guard for a moment and then licks her lips around. She seductively says, "There's more than that if you come with me." The third guard is still panting hard as he struggles to form a coherent sentence. "I gotta good. Go back to work." The cleaning lady bats her eyes and asks seductively, "You don't want me to do the real thing to you?" The third guard is now trying to open the passenger door quickly, but in his current state, he's struggling to open it. He's panting as he says, "Sweet Jesus, I can't get this door to open." After struggling for a few more seconds, he finally manages to open the door. The cleaning lady says, "It's a shame your friends were being rude to me." The third guard stops in his tracks. His brows are furrowed as he looks up at her and asks, "Why?" "What happened?" The cleaning lady says with a sad expression on her face. "They called me old, ugly," she whimpers, and then continues, "hag." A tear appears from the right side of her eye. The third guard slowly turns around and faces the two guards. He asks in a strict tone, "Who said that?" Both the guards look nervous and start fidgeting while one of them points to the other one, saying, "He did." The other guard looks shocked and protests, "No, it wasn't me, it was him." The third guard slowly starts walking towards the two guards while having a long bulge in his pants. The first guard says, "Yeah, it was him." The other guard says, "No, it wasn't." "I wouldn't say things like that." The guard says again, "Yes, it was." "You're lying." The other guard says, "I was being polite and you weren't." The third guard is standing in the middle of the two guards. The first guard starts saying again, "No, you said." Before he can finish off, the third guard grabs both of their heads and smashed them together. The two guards are now lying on the cement sidewalk. Both of them seem unconscious. The cleaning lady looks at the unconscious bodies, then back at him and says, "My savior." At her voice, he turns around and looks at her. The cleaning lady smiles back at him. He chivalrously says, "That will show those jerks." The cleaning lady asks seductively, "Can you do something more to them?" The third guard asks, "Like what? Break their foot?" As soon as he says that, he starts stomping on the unconscious guard's feet. The cleaning lady responds from the side, "I was thinking faces." "Oh, okay," he responds before he starts stomping on their faces. He looks back up to the cleaning lady and smiles at her. She looks back at him, smiling before she asks, "Do you have a smoke I can use?" He responds, No, I don't smoke, but I think one of these guys do." The cleaning lady bats her eyes again and seductively asks, "Would you?" Sure, the third guard says as he squats down and starts searching the two guards' bodies. "He had money," he says. "That will work," the cleaning lady responds. The third guard stands up and walks back to Dam's vehicle. He quickly gets inside and closes the door. He extends his right hand with the money towards the cleaning lady, and she says, "Thanks, you're too sweet." Dam's vehicle starts driving away, while the cleaning lady looks up at the third guard and smiles at him again. She starts speaking, "Thank you so much. You're not going to regret this. I will blow your mind away." He looks at her and gulps audibly as he starts getting nervous again. Somewhere at the back alley, Anne is lying against the brick wall and talking to someone. The nonsense person looks at Anne and says, "You see, that's why my heart can't work on a turtle pussy. Ain't got no rhythm." Anne responds, Uh-huh. Suddenly, something inside Anne's pocket starts vibrating. He fetches the cell phone inside his pants pocket and looks at it. He quickly gets out of the Ally and starts walking. Soon, Anne reaches close to the photocopy store and is now staring at the Westmen's sign in front of the store. He stops and stares at the two unconscious bodies near the entrance of the store. Jesus Christ! What the fuck did she do to them? Anne looks down at the cell phone and quickly types, "Where the fuck are you? Are you going to help or what?" He hits send and soon receives a reply. "Be back in a minute, faggot. I got to deal with the third guard, so get the money and text for help." Anne looks down at the phone with annoyance. He was frustrated at her. He starts walking in the middle of the two unconscious bodies and enters the store. Inside the store, the ceiling is collapsed. Papers and rubble are everywhere on the floor. The air vent is on top of a big desk. Anne takes in the view in front of him and sighs.